Hello and welcome to Badass is the New Black, a podcast where I share how to be badass in life and in business. This is episode 2 and I am your host, Chrissy Chin. Today I want to talk about strengths and weaknesses because this really is key in success in pretty much everything that you do in life. It's our weaknesses that get us into trouble, and it's our strengths that either get us out of trouble or propel us forward. So, what do you think I want to do in order to generate success? I want to play to my strengths, and I either want to improve on my weaknesses or I want to find others who have my weaknesses as their strengths. So I had this idea about a business, which, to be honest, happens very often, but this one was different. I had people asking me to start this business. And so I thought that was a good sign. But in starting this business, I could envision what it could turn into, but I didn't know exactly how I was going to make that happen. I had the content down and I had the audience and the customer right in front of me. But what I didn't have were the skills to bring this whole, idea and business to life. I wasn't, capable or didn't have the skills at the time to create a website and some other things that I needed. So being the problem solver that I am, I didn't waste any time. I called up my sister Claire, who I had started and failed a business with previously, and said, "Claire, I have this idea and I think it could really turn into something huge, but I want to do it with you." Now, in my mind, I was thinking, I need to do this with you. Like, I actually can't do this without you. But I didn't want her to know that. I just wanted her to know that I wanted her to do it with me, right? So I convinced my sister to jump on board, but we needed a photographer. Well, I know that is not my strength and it's not hers either. And it's a really important part of what our brand was. So we needed to find that other piece. So I call up my friend Jackie. She's a professional photographer. And I say, "Hey, Jackie, I have this idea. I have no idea what will happen, but I think it could be huge. And we need a product and a lifestyle photographer. Come do it with us." And so Jackie got on board. See, I know what my weaknesses are. And in this business, it was website development, graphic design, and photography. I had 5 weeks to get this business up and going because it was prime season for my customers to have this resource and tool. But I didn't have the time to learn the skills, to learn how to make a website, to learn how to do graphic design, to learn about photography. And so the next best thing for me to do was to find others that have my weaknesses as their strengths and partner together. It's really pointless to try and be the best at everything and to do everything alone. If you're not good at something, you can always partner with someone or you can hire it out, which is what I did. So think about your life. What are the things that you're not good at or that you hate doing? Laundry, cooking, cleaning, taking care of your children. I actually don't like doing any of those things. And my husband, Michael, travels a lot, so it's kind of like single mom living around here. So what did I do? I moved my in-laws in and I put them to work. George is a chef and a restaurateur, so it was natural that he, help out with the cooking. Elaine wanted to be really helpful, so she does the laundry. I'm not going to be, the horrible daughter-in-law and make them clean my toilets. So I hire the cleaning out. And while they do help out with the kids, I also hire a nanny that comes to watch the kids so that I can do cool things like sit in my office and record podcasts. So I discovered my weaknesses or the things that I don't like to do, and I figured out a solution to where I don't have to do them all the time. I do cook occasionally, mac and cheese. Don't judge me. It's Annie's, and I try and get the organic grass-fed box. A lot of frozen pizza. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. And overcooked steamed broccoli is kind of, my signature dishes here at the Chin household. So think about the things at your home that you aren't so good at and start to think about the solution for those. There are always going to be things that you can't hire out, and you really need to work on improving your skills. So something like connecting with other people, having good communication with your partner. You can't really hire someone to do that for you. Or can you? If you know, you send them my way. So here's an example. My husband and I used to get into arguments every time we talked about my business. He would give me advice as a loving husband may, and I took his advice, took it in through my filter, and processed it as judgment. And I felt like he thought I wasn't doing it right, and judging me for how I was running my business and the ideas that I had. And gosh, someone that I look up to and love was telling me that I sucked and I wasn't doing it right. And that felt horrible. And so I would instantly get defensive and I would completely write off his advice and I would shut down. It got to the point where we literally couldn't talk about my business anymore. I really, wanted to be able to talk with him about my business and not get so defensive, but I just couldn't get there. This is an example of a case where I can't just hire that out. I need to improve on my skills. I need to, acknowledge what's going on and try and get better and grow. So I hired a coach. So I guess I did kind of hire some help here. I hired a coach and worked with him. And this is something that we worked on or that came up in coaching. I had to discover why I interpreted his advice as attacks. We've, worked together on communication and effectively have become much better at it. We've learned a lot more about one another. So after doing the hard work, we can now have a healthy conversation and discussion about my business ventures and really so many other things in life. So some things and skills are worth developing and not just hiring it out. Now that you've kind of thought about your life, because your life affects your business affects your life, so we have to think about both. Now think about your business. What areas do you thrive in your business? And what areas are maybe non-existent or make your stomach turn every time you think about them with your business? I have a lot of friends who are involved in network marketing, one of my favorite business models, and they hate numbers. Not all of them, but the friends I'm speaking about. They will talk to their friends all day long and build the relationships and build their team. But when it comes to the numbers, they're like, I'm tapped out. I'm good. That is not my thing. And so they don't think about their taxes and they don't, look at their analytics, which is really important in business. Analytics is really important. Finances are really important. So the options here to solve this problem are to either hire it out or bring someone on board, partner with someone that's good with numbers or good with analytics. What about networking and making connections? How are your skills in this? This is a really, really important part of business. I don't care who you are, what you're doing. Are you good at it? Are you good at connecting with others? Are you good at networking with other people? If you're not, what are some solutions to improving on this? Are you going to improve your personal skills? Or are you going to hire someone to come on board that's really good at it and do it for the company? Or are you going to partner up with someone who has those skills? Start thinking about these things. I think this topic on, networking, making connections, collaborating, that's literally, I could go on and on. It's one of my favorite topics, probably because it's a skill that I'm very good at. So we'll save that for a whole nother podcast. But you get the gist of the idea and the concept of strengths versus weaknesses and how they affect really everything in your life. So take some time, sit down, take a piece of paper, fold it in half or draw a line down the middle and then a line sideways to make 4 boxes. At the very top, write life on one side and business on the other side. And then in the top boxes, write strengths. So you're going to write that 2 times. And then in the bottom boxes, write weaknesses. And then take some time, reflect on what I talked about, reflect on your life and your business, or write down all the things that you are good at or that come easy to you or that you love doing, and put those in your top boxes. I want you to write down for life and for business. And then go to the bottom boxes and write down all the things that you're not good at, that you hate doing, that you don't want to do, and put those in the bottom boxes. After you do this, then I want you to start to make a plan. I want you to make a plan on how you can use your strengths and leverage your strengths to your advantage to generate more success. And I want you to write down a plan on how you're going to overcome some of those weaknesses. Again, those weaknesses are not flaws. They do not make you a bad person. There is nothing wrong with you. We are all born with different strengths and different weaknesses, different gifts. And so start to make a plan on, are you going to improve those skills so you have those? So much for listening. Thank you for connecting over on social media. If you want to connect more and chat, you can find me on Instagram. There's little dots in between each word. And until next time, keep working on self-discovery, keep working on growing, and I will see you next week.